Welcome to Global World Watch. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. In Central Asia, a new artery of commerce is emerging, not of asphalt, but of steel rails crossing deserts and mountains. This is the China-Iran Railway, a project set to reshape Eurasia's economic and political landscape. More than a transport link, it's a modern Silk Road, carrying not just goods, but influence and power. Connecting China's factories to Iran's energy, it bypasses traditional maritime choke points. The scale is staggering: thousands of kilometers, multiple countries, and some of the world's toughest terrain. For centuries, sea routes dominated east-west trade, controlled by naval powers. This railway challenges that paradigm. It offers a faster, more secure land route, reflecting China's engineering ambition and strategic vision. For China, it's about securing energy and expanding reach. For Iran, it's a vital economic lifeline. Together, they're building a corridor that serves mutual interests, outside the Western-led system. The railway could transform Central Asian economies, turning landlocked nations into vital transit hubs. As of November 2025, this steel artery is redrawing the map of global trade and influence. China's economic rise has long depended on energy imports, most arriving by sea through the vulnerable Strait of Malacca. This choke point, easily blockaded, is a strategic nightmare for Beijing, known as the Malacca Dilemma. The U.S. Navy's dominance of these sea lanes gives Washington leverage over China. To reduce this risk, China seeks alternative routes for its energy supply. The China-Iran Railway is Beijing's boldest answer, a direct land route to the Persian Gulf. Oil and gas can now travel overland, immune to maritime blockades. This corridor boosts China's energy security and control over its own destiny. It's not just about risk. Overland transport is faster, cutting weeks off delivery times. The railway opens new trade and investment possibilities, linking China's industry with Middle Eastern resources. By diversifying its logistics, China makes its economy more resilient to global shocks. The railway is a strategic masterstroke, insulating China from maritime vulnerabilities. The China-Iran Railway cements a partnership between two nations at odds with the U.S. For China, it secures energy imports and expands economic influence across Eurasia. For Iran, isolated by sanctions, it's a political and economic lifeline. The railway helps Iran bypass restrictions, selling oil and accessing investment. China, defying Western pressure, provides Iran with a powerful partner and steady demand for its oil. This synergy led to a 25-year strategic cooperation agreement with the railway at its core. China invests billions in Iran's infrastructure. In return, it gets discounted energy. The result, a closed-loop system, largely outside the reach of the US dollar. Politically, this alliance challenges the US-led order, offering an alternative model for development. For Iran, it's a shield against isolation. For China, a foothold in the Middle East. The railway is the steel spine of this emerging anti-hegemonic axis. Together, they're reshaping the balance of power in the region. The China-Iran Railway is a flagship of China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. The BRI aims to connect China to the world through a network of infrastructure, reviving the ancient Silk Road. The railway is a vital artery in the China-Central Asia-West Asia economic corridor. It links China's manufacturing hubs with Middle Eastern energy and European markets. This project is about more than economics. It's about redrawing geography and politics. The railway introduces a major land-based alternative to maritime oil trade, reducing reliance on choke points like Malacca and Hormuz. By diversifying energy routes, China alters global supply chains and pricing dynamics. The BRI and this railway create a new trading system less dependent on the West. Trade along these routes increasingly uses currencies like the yuan, challenging the dollar's dominance. The China-Iran Railway encapsulates China's dual goals: economic development on its terms, and a challenge to the US-led order. To the US and its allies, the China-Iran Railway is a direct challenge to American influence in Central Asia and the Middle East. The deepening China-Iran alliance threatens to erode decades of US dominance in the region. The railway undermines US efforts to isolate Iran, providing Tehran with economic resilience. China's investment and oil purchases blunt the impact of American sanctions. This sets a precedent for other sanctioned states to partner with Beijing, weakening US leverage. The project embodies an alternative, state-led development model, challenging Western norms. For U.S. allies like Saudi Arabia and Israel, The growing Sino-Iranian axis is a strategic concern. Washington may respond with diplomatic and financial pressure, but countering a project of this scale is difficult. The railway is a long-term investment, backed by strong political will in both Beijing and Tehran. The old playbook may no longer be enough in this new geopolitical game. Despite its promise, the China-Iran railway faces daunting challenges. The route crosses deserts, mountains, and seismic zones, an engineering and financial test. Political instability in Central Asian transit countries could disrupt operations. Coordinating customs, standards, and cross-border transit is a diplomatic headache. Security is a major concern. The railway passes through regions prone to insurgency and crime. Protecting thousands of kilometers of track is a monumental task. Economic viability is uncertain. High costs mean it's best suited for valuable, time-sensitive goods. The project's success depends on sustained two-way trade and stable demand. If Iran's economy falters or Chinese demand drops, the railway could become a costly, underused asset. Overcoming these hurdles is crucial for the railway to fulfill its transformative potential. The China-Iran railway is more than infrastructure. It's a symbol of shifting global power. For centuries, maritime nations dominated trade. This railway marks a return to continental strategy, with China at the center. It's a direct challenge to the US-led unipolar order. The project shows that major global shifts can happen without, or in defiance of, the West. This steel corridor signals a new kind of alliance, based on shared interests, not shared values. The China-Iran partnership, once unthinkable, is now a pragmatic axis of convenience. The railway physically links this emerging bloc, creating a new economic and strategic reality. By offering a land-based alternative, it reduces the strategic importance of maritime choke points. This could reshape global supply chains and naval strategy. As of November 2025, the map of global influence is being redrawn with steel and political will. The China-Iran railway is carrying not just goods, but the weight of a new world in the making.